on to the, July, jumping ahead, July 11th, 2023, regular scheduled Fort Clinton City Council meeting in the Linda Hart Love Council Chambers. Please stand for pledge of allegiance, the Lord's Prayer, and moment of silence, and of serving and protecting our country. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Thank you. You may be seated. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Beth Gilman. Here. Margaret Phillips. Here. Richard Morgan.
Here.
Callie Gangle. Here. Pat Hovis. Here. Jerry Trolley.
Excused.
Kathy Kane.
Here. Thank you. Council, you previously received the June 27, 2023 regular meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as stated?
Madam President, I move in approval of those minutes.
Thank you. Do I have a second? I'll second. Thank you. Any discussion? I have a motion by Ms. Phillips, seconded by Ms. King, to approve the June 27, 2023 regular meeting minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. The minutes from June 27, 2023 are approved. The chair notes that certification is made regarding compliance with the rules and notifications of this meeting. We have no guest presentation. Public comment?
Yes. Bill Upas at 220 West Lake Shore Drive.
Thank you. Sure.
Thank you. I'm going to talk about Waterworks Park just for a couple minutes and Fort Clinton Lighthouse. I'm not on the Lighthouse board, but I am on the committee for consumer relations. So as that, we're looking at seeing how effective the lighthouse can be to be an asset to the city of Fort Clinton. And this might have already been discussed before, Mayor, when we wanted to look at possibly changing the name of Waterworks Park to Lighthouse Park. Because the lighthouse has really grown in value, I think, to the city. And the Waterworks building is no longer standing. So I think this had been investigated at one point. I don't know if that you're aware of any of that time.
Yeah, Mr. Uhas, it's my understanding since the issue passed about the parks, you would have to put a levy on, or an issue on the ballot.
And that's what I'm going to try to find out.
Yeah.
The process to see if we could do that. And so
And there will have to be a vote of the people.
absolutely. And also, what about the beach where the lighthouse is? Designate that as Lighthouse Beach.
I don't know anything about that. I mean, that might be more of a legal
That's a good question. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, we'd have to look into that because a lot of stuff you do there is Army Corps of Engineers, ODNR, anything like that. So,
And if there's things that we can help investigate on that type of stuff, just give us some guidance as how we can do that. Because, again, we just think that it's a very big asset. And if anybody drove by it on 4th of July, the evening of 4th of July, to see the fireworks in the lighthouse there, it was quite impressive. So, thank you.
thank you. We'll move on to executive officers' reports. Council, this evening there are two new resolutions. First one is 23-8, second one is 23-9. They can go to full 3 reads, and it will not be assigned to a committee. Mr. Colson can talk more about them during his time. So I just like to thank the fireworks committee and the whole committee that did the stuff on 4th of July. It was very nice. There was a lot of people in town. So thank you if you can pass that on, Mayor. Thank you for what you do. And that is all I have. Move on to the mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. And I want to continue on that with thank you to everyone that participated in the 4th of July, from the folks that wrote little checks to big checks, to drop coins in the buckets, to rounded up their bills. We were able to raise just over $17,000, 16 of that going towards the fireworks display, and the others going for odds and ends related to the car show and the cutie contest and the ice cream social and all the other activities that took place. I believe the United Way had a very successful rubber duck derby. It was all good. We've already begun planning for next year. We are a little less than halfway to our goal already for next year. So I don't know whether or not Ms. Phillips will have to shave her head for a fundraiser, but that's still on the table.
In your dreams.
Wow, put that in a minute.
I would like to tell you a little story. For those of you that were at the Voices of Freedom concert, this will be a rehash, and I'm sorry for that, but it's worth telling. It's a story about a young lady named Merlinda Spafford, S-P-A-F-F-O-R-D. There's an article in today's News Herald about Merlinda. Merlinda came to the United States from the Philippines in 2017. She's lived on the main island about 4 hours outside of Manila. She was a stroke therapist and in-home healthcare in the Philippines, and here in the United States she's the head housekeeper for a hotel and vacation rental company I know quite well. She moved to the United States shortly thereafter, married her longtime fiance, who was a Fort Clinton resident. They reside very close to Mr. Uhas. Merlinda has 7 children back in the Philippines. 7 children is not a big deal, but the story of those 7 children is a huge deal. One of them is biological. The other 6 are all adopted, and how they came to be in Merlinda's care is the real hero story about this whole thing. Obviously, Philippines has a little different lifestyle than we have here in the United States. Three of Merlinda's daughters were found stair-step age, just very young, going through a field picking for food. Merlinda learned of these children through her church, invited them into her home. No idea if they are siblings or not, no idea what their ages currently are, but they became part of Merlinda's family. Shortly thereafter, Merlinda learned of 2 boys, again, very, very young, in the city where she grew up, completely naked, digging through piles of trash to find food. Those 2 young boys are now part of Merlinda's family. And in the Philippines, when you go to the hospital, you're not discharged until you pay your bill. A mother left their young child at the hospital. Merlinda brought that child into her home. Today, those 7 children range in age from 16 to 30. Merlinda still takes care of them from here in the United States, sends money back to them all the time. And then on June 9th of this year, Merlinda passed her American citizenship test, which is kind of the moral of that whole story. We always hear about immigration and so forth. Merlinda is the ideal person to be an American citizen, Ohio resident, and one of our neighbors. So if you read the article in the News Herald, you see a picture of Merlinda. If you see her around town, give her a high five and congratulate her on becoming, in the presentation I gave at the Voices of Freedom, part of the 4%. We're very, very fortunate to be 4% of the world's population that are Americans. So congratulations to Merlinda for all of her work. Moving on, brush pickup is underway this week again. Just as a friendly reminder to everyone in the community, it starts the second Monday of the month. So please have those items out in a timely fashion, not 3 weeks in advance, but prior to that second Monday of the month. Council had the opportunity yesterday to attend the first shot ceremony out at Camp Harry. This is the start of a 5-week national competition. We're all familiar with it. It's been going on since the early 1900s. Participation this year, depending on the event, is up anywhere from 2 to 10%. One particular event, it's over 100% increase in participation. There were dignitaries from all over the United States, a whole lot of military brass walking around the base yesterday. Congresswoman Capter, Councilman Latta. Yeah, I'm struggling today. I haven't had enough sleep. Congressman Latta were there as well. Adjutant General for the Ohio National Guard was there. It was a great presentation. The first shot itself was undertaken by a first sergeant who has been a career Army marksmanship unit member, holds all sorts of records. I couldn't even go on to the list. And the joke in the audience was he was going to miss the first shot, but he didn't. He didn't. It was a good time. Since you're here, I received word the other day that the Lighthouse Festival is set for August 19th. It's a Saturday from 10 a.m. Until 5 p.m. at Waterworks Park. Good news here. The next thing is great news for everyone listening to this. We received word from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers that the fence around the wetlands can come down. Yay! With the exception of a little area where the dune has formed between the wetlands and the beach area. They want to keep that there for a couple of reasons that they spelled out in the letter. Within the next 2 weeks, hopefully, if manpower allows and the grass stops growing for a little bit, we'll be able to get crews out there to get that fence removed. Monday, July 24th, downtown will be the first ever J1 Welcome Day for the city of Port Clinton. It's estimated that between Port Clinton, Catawba, Marblehead Peninsula, there are around 300 J1 exchange students, summer workforce in this area. There are another several hundred over on South Bass Island. They're all being invited into downtown Port Clinton at the district for an evening of American fun, American food, fellowship. We've sent an invitation out to several service organizations, police department, fire department, and others to come downtown and share time. We'd certainly love to have as many citizens, council members down there just to meet the young men and women who are keeping our economy going and having a good time and becoming part of the ambassadorship. This program was started in the 1960s by the U.S. Department of State, and this year there are in excess of 300,000 exchange students from around the world in the United States. So personally, I've been doing this since 1999, and it's been personally rewarding to get to meet these kids from all over the country. Saturday was the kickoff for the Toledo Sculpture Guild exhibit at the Art Garage. This, in the art world, is a big coup to have this exhibit here in Port Clinton at the Art Garage. There are both exhibits outside and inside that will be here on display through the month of July and August. I would encourage everybody to get down there to take a look at it. Again, it's a free facility, just amazing level of art and craftsmanship in this community. And this is becoming and Sandy can attest to this, the Art Garage is becoming a regional focal point for art. And it's just amazing to see where it was as a dusty, old, dirty maintenance garage with dead birds and all sorts of other issues to the color and light and activity that it is today. It's amazing. If you haven't gotten your tickets already, August 20th, again, is PC Day at Fifth Third Field. You can get your tickets through the Mud Hens ticket office at 419-725-4367. Again, 419-725-4367. Discussion at past council meetings, the Jet Express is still holding off hope that the dock they normally use will be finished with their renovations, but as of right now that's not happened, so they're not selling any tickets aboard the boat, but it's only 35-40 minutes to get to Fifth Third Field by car. I want to tell you a little story about Bud and Alice Myers. Bud and Alice Myers are from Parma, Ohio, and they used to own a condo here in Port Clinton at the Shores. They were actually one of the first owners back in the mid-1980s to own a condo at the Shores. They sold it about 5-6 years ago, but they're in town today, and I happened to come across them. They stopped into my office to say hi. The only reason they came into town is to shop, eat, and listen to the entertainment at the district. They're also staying at a hotel that I know. But I thought that was an interesting story. It's doing, and the revitalization of downtown is doing what we all hoped it would do. This is just one example of many others. I'm just able to put a face and a name with this one. And finally, yes, finally, if you should see Snip and Sharon Snyder around town tomorrow, please give them a toot, give them a wave, stop, shake their hand. It's their 54th wedding anniversary. So with that, Madam President, that concludes my report unless there's any questions. Yes, Mr. Trolley.
Yep.
No,
Has there been any more feedback on the Coast Guard or the drawbridge?
Nothing formal. I've had some informal conversations with the county commissioners who have had direct talks with some Coast Guard folks, and it seems as if all of the comments are paying off to our benefit. That, again, nothing set in stone. It's very early in their rebuttal process, if you will, but again, if you recall, folks had the opportunity up till July 5th to comment on how the drawbridge was going to change their operation. They're required to respond to those. I don't know if there's any public hearing scheduled, but the comments are being heard, and it was overwhelming from the population in and around Fort Clinton that it was a crazy idea. So.
I feel obligated to ask for Mr. Trolley. Is there an update on Flip and the paperwork with USDA?
We actually had a meeting yesterday with the folks from Pogemeyer. As you know, the B portion, the below ground, we got the $10 million and all that stuff. We're waiting on the above ground stuff. It's actually at the national level. We asked the folks at Pogemeyer to reach out to our local contact, the Northwest Ohio contact for USDA, to see if it would be appropriate for us to go above her head, if you will, and find out what's going on. The story we were told in June is that they were waiting for interest rates to come down. They anticipated that happening the first part of July. That hasn't happened, so we're just in limbo. The reality is, however, even if they were to say go ahead today, the timing of everything and asphalt plants closing when they do, that portion is probably going to be a spring project for next year. Anything else, Norma?
Okay, thank you. The auditor is not here this evening, but you do have the financial report for May 31, 2023, and financial report for June 30th, 2023. So,
Madam President, I move those two be added to correspondence.
thank you. Do I have a second?
A second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Ms. Phillips, seconded by Mrs. Gilman, to add the two financial reports under correspondence. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you. They will be listed under correspondence. Treasurer's report.
Yes, I'm pleased to announce that these collections are represented through June 30th, and our bed tax collected stands at $71,608.34, which is approximately 22% of the budgeted revenue. And the dock tax is at $25,526.07, which I'm pleased to announce is $4,500 over our expected revenue of $21,000, and we're only halfway through the year. I don't expect much more coming in, but there'll be a little bit. So things are good.
Does anyone have any questions for the treasurer? Okay, law director.
I have nothing tonight, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor's report. Mr. Colston.
So real quick, those two ordinances are out there. I went a couple weeks ago to the Tax Incentive Board, and we have to do that. We put that into their hands to say all the paperwork that Mr. Bickley gave them for these two, the CRAs for those, were all proper, they're good, they voted to continue them. So that's what those are all about. It's basically a formality, but you guys have to vote on that. It can go to 3 readings. So nothing negative on it at all, so we're in positive shape with all that stuff. So this one, that's what I wanted to read for. And that's all, unless you have some questions. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay. Go on to committee reports. Finance, Mrs. Hovis.
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Mr. Trolley's been here. Safety Services, Ms. Phillips.
Thank you, Madam President. 2 weeks from tonight, before the next city council meeting, our committee will be meeting to start working on seasonal, I hate the phrase they use, what is it?
Short-term rentals.
Short-term rentals, there's a word after that, I never can remember it, but let's go with that one. See if we can start working on that. It could be complicated, we don't know. We have to get something that fits us rather than some other community.
Thank you. And Economic and Community Development, Ms. Gilman.
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Moving on to correspondence. Under correspondence, we have the financial report for month ending May 31, 2023, and the financial report month ending June 30th, 2023. Do I have a motion to approve the correspondence as stated?
Madam President, I move that we accept the correspondence.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Thank you, Mrs. King. Any discussion? Okay, I have a motion by Ms. Phillips, seconded by Mrs. King to approve the correspondence as stated. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All and opposed, same sign. Motion carries, correspondences are approved. Move on to readings of ordinances and resolutions. We have no third reading and no second. Under first reading, we have resolution 23-8. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, resolution 23-8.
Resolution 23-8, a resolution authorizing the continuation of the Community Reinvestment Area Agreement for Buckeye Community 76 LP and Ohio Limited Partnership.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any actions to resolution 23-8? Seeing none, resolution 23-8 will be moved to a second reading at the next regularly scheduled council meeting on July 25th, 2023. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, resolution 23-9.
Resolution 23-9, a resolution authorizing the continuation of the Community Reinvestment Area Agreement for R&R Hospitality LLC.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action as to resolution 23-9? Seeing none, resolution 23-9 will be moved to its second reading at the next regularly scheduled council meeting on July 25th, 2023. We'll move on to business from the floor. Mrs. Hovis.
Nothing tonight except happy anniversary to Mom and Dad Snyder. I will see them.
Thank you. Mr. Morgan?
I got nothing.
Okay. Mrs. Gangle? Mrs. King?
Well, happy anniversary to your parents. And I also wanted to mention that the Greater Port Clinton Area Arts Council, the annual fundraiser is September 16th, and tickets are found on sale.
Thank you. Ms. Phillips?
Thank you, Madam President. 4th of July weekend and before and after was just really great this year. I think the weather was a help, but it seemed as though things were so organized, and we did not have as many of the flying bugs, which is okay. But I wish we could do something about the pigeons. Seagulls, excuse me, they're seagulls. Because you gotta watch where you park anymore.
Thank you. Mrs. Gilman?
I just want to give kudos again to the 4th of July committee, the volunteers, the people that donated. It was one of the best shows I've seen in a long time. I heard comments from people saying, that was better than O'Carver's, because O'Carver's was nice.
Woohoo!
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, yeah.
Eat that, Mayor Babcock.
You could also see from where we were sitting, you could see Cook Bay, you could see some of the islands, Kelly, Eastern Point. It was a fantastic show. The weather was amazing. I know the fire department had a call right before they kicked off, during the anthem, and they still managed to get it off on time, and it was fantastic. But I was good to hear the comments, especially better than O'Carver.
Say that again.
So thank you for the hard work. I know it's not easy, and everybody that donated. That was it. Nothing else, Madam President.
Thank you. Seeing no further business, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Madam President. I just want to advise Ms. Phillips that seagulls are federally protected, and they're protected under federal law. Seagulls, and I know you guys aren't friends, but they're protected.
No seat here.
Thank
We
you.
need an umbrella to cover that whole area that they can't go underneath.
Seeing no further business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Madam President, I move this August body adjourn.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Gay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Thank you. We're adjourned.